Ronald.
How you doing, Ronnie?
Doing all right, although I just got in the most ridiculous argument via text message.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible. There's rules to texting, Ronnie.
Yeah, I bet. Let's talk about those rules. I'd like to learn.
Okay, Ronnie, tell me about it. What happened?
Well, first off, I could tell that I was texting with somebody who was not texting. They were typing.
Right.
That's not a fair fight. That's like bringing a gun to a sword fight. It's just impossible to compete. So should you first off be allowed to text from your computer?
I have no problem with texting from the computer, but I will say hard conversations, arguing, don't do it via text. Just doesn't work.
So you say don't fight via text, but what happens if you're having a perfectly normal conversation and now there's a disagreement? Do you stop the conversation and call them, or do you continue down the path?
100%. I'll talk to you. Let's get on the phone. Actually, better yet, video call. Or are you going to see him in person? Let's have the conversation in person, face to face.
We both have teenagers, and I think teenagers are incapable of talking, and they're also incapable of texting in words that I understand.
Yes. Drives me crazy.
So how do you not fight with your teenager via text?
Okay, well, I just cut it off. I don't respond.
You just stuck because you ghost them.
Totally ghost them. A lot of times it's about keeping things simple and to the point and direct and not reading too much into the text messages.
So if you are texting from a computer, don't make me scroll. That's too much. If it goes back and forth 5 or 6 times, you probably should stop texting, unless it's like you're clarifying a question. You know, something as simple as, where do you want to eat? That is the most common fight text that I will have with anyone. Could be my wife, could be my kids, could be a friend. Where do you want to eat? I don't know where you want to eat. Well, let's go here. Oh, I don't like that place. And then you go back and forth, and then you're like, just pick up the damn phone.
You can't be asking these open-ended questions. Better off like one option or the other. And if they don't like that, then all right, just pick up the phone.
Yeah, you know, text is 20 years old maybe. So there's gotta be these new rules around it, and I think it probably makes sense at this point to bring in an expert who I'm gonna guess has way more intimate knowledge about what you should and shouldn't do via text than you and I. What do you think?
Well, Ronnie, I've got a treat for you.
Ooh!
I've got someone who knows all about how to text and what not to text. Thank you so much for joining us, Lisa. We look forward to talking to you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. And today we have such a great topic we've been talking about. We've been talking about text messaging. And I think that text has come on so, you know, it's been a very quick evolution that there hasn't been time to figure out the right rules behind it. And so are there things that you just simply don't want to text?
If you wouldn't say it to them in person, certainly do not put it in a text.
Just don't hide behind the text message?
Do not hide behind a text message. And you know, you're confident. This is a part about having emotional intelligence, being confident, standing in your power, and being professional. We often forget as adults that our image, our brand, our reputation, whether you're in person or it also stands to, the same is true within your written communication. That is a part of your reputation. And whenever you put something in writing, it's there forever. And so I would really caution you about an email, what you're putting in an email or a text. And I know a lot of times we use abbreviations, but you have to think about the other person on the other end. Are they going to know about that particular abbreviation? I'm a big believer in spelling things out because, again, a text is a part of your professional reputation and your personal reputation. And who wants, I mean, sometimes I've had to text to go, now, on autocorrects, listen, I've made my spelling mistakes on text. But I would say reread them and be cautious about what you're saying and spell things out the best that you can and use complete sentences, especially if it's a professional relationship.
Abbreviations and reading your text and autocorrect all happened to me last week. I was typing, and it was a professional text. Somebody was waiting for me, and I was typing 1 sec, S-E-C. That's not what was autocorrected out of there. And I said 1 sex to this person, and I got down there like, something you want to share? I'm like, Oh.
That is exactly what you should have done. You know, make it light and keep on moving.
What about like just certain conversations? You know, like Ronnie was saying, it's like people are so free flowing with texting. It's like you can text anything.
Mm-hmm.
But to your point, are there certain conversations that maybe you should just wait and do it another way?
Yes, and also when a text keeps going back, maybe it's the third defining moment and you're trying to get a point across. I am such a believer in the human connection. And I can't even countless texts even this morning. It's the way of our world. It's quick, it gets the point across. But after 2 or 3 texts giving a detail, it's time to pick up the phone and make a human connection.
Yeah.
You'll get much more out of the conversation when you can make that human point.
One of the things I've noticed a lot with text is that people send crazy amount of words, like where it's, I don't even know how they typed it that much.
Yes.
Like, is there a limit of how many words you should have in a text?
There's not really a limit, but whether you're sending an email or a text, both should be brief and to the point. And you might use abbreviations in a text. Don't do that in an email. An email needs to look like a business memo. It needs to have complete sentences, correct punctuation, correct grammar. You need to reread it, but it does need to be brief.
So one of the things that drives me crazy is people who text from their computer. They have a keyboard. That is not fair. You cannot text via a keyboard. You have to use your fingers and thumbs like us.
I'm guilty. Sometimes I do use it. There have been times where I'll just send a message from the keyboard, but you have to be mindful. It needs 3 or 4 sentences really is about the
So
maximum.
no writing the novels or copy and pasting a large paragraph that needs that someone needs to read via text. Not going to happen.
Not via text.
No.
So short, sweet, snappy, and if you
To the
don't,
point.
if you aren't willing to say it to the person's face, don't say it to their
Don't
screen.
say it at all.
So our viewers are going to love to hear more from you. How can they get a hold of you?
Go to my website, mannerstogo.com or americanetiquette.com.
That was super helpful. I love hearing about all these, etiquette things that you and I probably just don't think about.
Oh my gosh, man. I need Lisa to meet with our kids and
Yes.
teach them something. I mean, seriously. But let us know. Let us know about your texting. Like what problems you've run into and how did you solve them? And check out some of our other videos.
Yeah, well listen, I gotta go. I'll text you later. if
All
I need
right,
you.
Ronnie, you
All
do
right,
that.
See ya.
See ya.